Good afternoon. Welcome to the Khmer Time Crosstalk Live from the Khmer Time studio. This afternoon, I bring our guest, Mr. Jojo Malolos, CEO of Wink, Cambodia. He is invited to speak about the banking service in Cambodia, right? Mobile banking service in Cambodia. But first of all, I would like you to introduce yourself to our viewers and the audience a little bit, say who you are and what is your role and responsibility in Wink.
In Wing, okay.
In Wink, yeah.
So good afternoon to everybody and to Khmer Times. Thank you for inviting me here. It's a privilege for a company like Wing to be able to share its insights in the mobile financial services. I'm Jojo Malolos. I am the CEO of Wing. My responsibility is to help run the company. Basically, make it ready for the next generation requirements of mobile financial services. I've been in this business for a good 12 years since my time in the Philippines. I'm a Filipino, and I've also done work extensively in the U.S., which brought me to Latin America, Africa, and to Asia also. So pretty much have a very broad experience on mobile financial services around the region, and I came here to share that experience with my Cambodian colleagues and hopefully have an impact on Cambodia moving forward.
That's great. Okay. We learned that the Wings present here in Cambodia for 10 years already, and sound like one of the leading, is leading the mobile banking service. And can you review back a little bit within 10-year time, within a decade time, how the operation works? What makes the Wings so successful, so well known in Cambodian market today?
Well, yeah, about 20 years ago, there was, or maybe even more than 20 years ago, we were all subjected to a phenomenon called mobile phone, right? So, the advent of mobile phones triggered the introduction of mobile financial services. So, as the years passed, we realized that at some point in time, there's almost more phone subscriptions than people. Right, so
the phone population is more people, right?
So in Cambodia, for example, you have 27.6 million mobile phone subscriptions.
Right, among 16
million population, right? So that phenomenon led to an appreciation that maybe, just maybe, people who have phones can now be allowed to have access to financial services, right? So what does that mean? That meant that during those times, they're having difficulty getting the poor or the unbanked or people who cannot afford to open a bank account or have access to credit or access to savings. They don't know how to reach them. But because people spend money, even if it's just 50 cents every quarter on a phone, because they have a phone for communication purposes, they thought that introducing a financial service over the phone might be a very good way of harnessing the impact of the unbanked to the total global economy, right? So that happened. So we have what we're calling mobile money, right? So in 1998 or 2000, the birth of mobile financial services came about. It was already present before, but now it's more important because it now attacked, or it was made available to people who will never be able to open a bank account. Why? Because they don't have money for maintenance balance. They don't have information about themselves to tell them, I'm this. They cannot borrow money because they don't have history. So now it's open to them, right? So that was the start. Wing in 2009 started taking a look at how do we bring this innovation in Cambodia, considering that there are already many phone players, right? So they formed the Wing through ANZ. It's a bank-led model. ANZ formed a separate entity in 2009, and they started developing wallets. So for every phone, you create a wallet for farmers, for fishermen, for garment workers. And for 2 years, they tried to get people to understand, okay, put your money in the wallet, and it failed miserably, right? So it failed miserably to the point that in 2011, they decided to change the business model altogether. they now basically created an agent network that basically will take care of doing these financial services for you, right? So you now have 5,000 agents. We now have 5,000 agents that basically gets your cash, converts it electronically, and puts it and floats it in the air, wherein somebody will pick it up, whether it's a biller company or somebody who will cash it out on the other side of Cambodia. We were very successful there, and then right now Wing is the leading company doing that. We're now processing about 70 million transactions, 60 to 70 million transactions a year. We are processing a volume of more than $10 billion, which is more than half of the GDP of the country. And these are all coming from the unbanked, right? So we focus on the unbanked because of our vision of giving every Cambodian access to financial services that will eventually improve their lives, right? So for focusing on that alone, some of the commercial banks focus on those who can bank. Some of the other companies which try to do mobile financial services focus on those who probably have salaries high enough for them to keep on using it. But we focused on the unbanked. And we've been very successful. Now we have 3 million people regularly using our agent network. And we've created also about 1 million accounts, Wing accounts, that can be an introduction to financial services. But more importantly, we've introduced a lot of new products and services for the unbanked that nobody, no company in Cambodia, even commercial banks, have actually also started looking into. So, and then we're proud that this is being triggered by the unbanked. They're the ones who are asking us to help them develop these products and services. And I think that led us to the leadership in the industry.
How do you think that this kind of service may change the life of Cambodian people?
Okay. Let's take a look at an ordinary farmer, right? So an ordinary farmer who probably has a land to till, but doesn't have money to start working on it, right? So he approaches a microfinance institution who basically relies on his land, and basically says that, okay, I'll lend you money, and I'll lend you the money, and I'll course it through a phone. You receive the money through a phone, right? And then you go to an agent and cash it out. So immediately there's an efficiency of not having to go to the office of the microfinance company, take a tuk-tuk, because cash is expensive, right? So
save their time, save money.
But more importantly, they're given access to this immediately by microfinance companies. A garment worker, for example, a garment worker who normally gets a salary in cash, needs to spend a lot of time lining up until all the money is being cashed, or go to a bank and cash. Here, it goes exactly to their wallet. And if they want to pay their bill, if you want to pay their mortgage, if you want to transfer money, they can already use the phone. So there's one is efficiency in saving a lot of time. Second is that it gives you access to more products and services that can now be done on the phone. And third, which is very, very important, is that it allows you to maybe be open to a lot of other opportunities. Maybe you'd like to open a business, and then by doing it, by linking it to online companies right now, who by putting your products on Facebook, it's all now connected on the phone. But again, I mean, it's easier said than done. Right? The challenge really is for companies like Wing on how you convince people who are never used to this type of technology, who are never used to having a bank account. To actually now use it.
Is that a challenge? Is that a difficulty in the first stage to convince people or to educate people how to use this kind of service? Because it's so new for Cambodia, including myself.
Yeah, globally it's the holy grail. So right now, based on statistics, there are now about 690 million people around the world who has a mobile account or a mobile wallet. Okay. That has been increasing by 25% year on year.
Every year.
But the ratio of people who are actively using it to those who are registered is just about 24%, right? So the 24% continues to be 24% year on year. It's because of that. Maybe it's education, maybe, like for example in Cambodia. I have 3 million people who rely on on agents
Right.
to do all of these financial transactions. I have
Right.
about 300,000 who are using the phone to do all of these mobile financial
Right.
services. The objective is that get everybody on board to appreciate the benefit of this to them
Right.
by actually using it. Now you see most of the tuk-tuk drivers using the Wing wallet. Why? Because they're settling their daily
Right.
earnings with PassUp or with Grab
Right.
via the Wing wallet.
Right.
So they're forced to use it, right? So they're now using it, and they're now starting to appreciate. Oh, so it's okay for me to do it. I just
Right.
need to put money on it on a regular basis, and I don't need to go to Grab or to PassUp every time to give give their
and
share.
now even very cheap, right? Using
And it's
Wing
very cheap,
money
yeah.
transfer, like what, 2,000 real, half of 50 cents, right?
Yeah,
for one time.
we give them we incentivize them.
Right.
It's an educational tool rather than just giving it for free or something. So
Right.
so now that they're starting to appreciate and understand the value of just using the phone, then we expand the services.
Right. You have competition in the small market, about 6 million people population here, right? You not only Wing alone, but you have the e-money, True Money, and the another new one called global money transfer from Korea, something like that is about to be entered into the market. Are you worried about the competition, or how to keep the Wing become a leading service in Cambodia, this kind of type of service?
Well, competition is always good, right? So competition is always good. To answer your question, I'm not worried. What I'm worried about is that a competitor that comes in and totally disrupts the ecosystem by changing the rules of the game in an effort to acquire market share, right? So you understand what I'm saying? So in our business, it's not just about customers. It's also about these 5,000 agents,
Right.
who were not earning anything before, but who are now earning between $500 to $600.
You mean create job as
Yeah.
well.
So if somebody comes in and then basically brings down the price of the customer to zero, that means zero revenue or income for these people also.
Right.
But in the guise of giving it for free to customers,
Right.
you're saying that you're creating a new level of competition, which is not correct.
Right.
But again, the market is big. The market is big, and it's open for other companies to come in, competitors to come in, particularly introducing new products and services.
Right.
I think there's a lot of room for competitors to come in. There's a lot of room for competitors to bring in new, exciting products and services.
Right.
And there are 25 provinces in cities and provinces in Cambodia. It's not
Right.
it's not only Phnom Penh, but everybody's coming in Phnom Penh, right?
Right, right, because population more, no?
But again, as I said, competition is okay. It is the responsibility of anybody coming in
Right.
to make sure that you have a product, you have a target market who will directly benefit from it,
Right.
without even thinking of who is providing that or anything
Right.
else. And that's how we've always attacked the market.
Right.
We've always attacked the market in such a way that, okay, we go to the farmers, we go to the garment workers, we create opportunities for them.
Right.
We go to micro merchants. Right now I have about 23,000 micro merchants. When I talk about micro merchants, I'm talking about tuk-tuk drivers. I'm not
Okay.
talking about
homes, yeah.
all of these restaurants, all of this I'm talking about souvenir shop
Right.
owners. I'm talking about those who are selling barbecue, on the stand.
Right.
We give them a merchant ID so that Chinese, Cambodians will be able to pay through Wing. So we create these opportunities across the country.
Right.
We have 100% coverage.
Do
of
you think
Cambodia.
that if there's more competitor coming, will a country need to regulate some specific regulation or law in order to maintain the service fairly, something like that? Right?
Yes. Well, again, all of us are being regulated by the National Bank of Cambodia, and I
Right.
think they've done a very good job, not only helping sustain the financial integrity
Right.
of the system, but also introducing competition into the market.
Right.
It is also the National Bank of Cambodia that basically comes up with guidelines.
They've done a very good job.
By which, they've done a good job by introducing something. They've created series of implementing guidelines for a new practice that will introduce new
Right.
payment services providers or institutions. that allows everybody to be more creative. And then, as I said, the market is, we're only 16 million people here, but there's a lot of opportunities to open up the business to other competitors.
Right.
Hopefully Cambodians, right? So hopefully Cambodians, Wing is proud to be, purely 100% owned by a Cambodian, a Cambodian entrepreneur, and we continue to be clear on our vision of helping improve the lives of every Cambodian.
Quite exciting with this new technology and service. But anyhow, if your client ever complained about the security, money transfer, will send money out and cheated by somebody, I heard all the time on the Facebook. Is that part of your concern on the?
Well, security is a very important feature of Wing, right? So, but again, everywhere you go, security will always be something that a lot of other, these thieves will try to test, right? So, first is that we are supervised by the National Bank of Cambodia.
Okay.
At any point in time, that our system is breached, we are accountable and responsible. So that's a very priority to us. So that in all of the processes that we have, in all of the products and services we bring, we make sure that there is adequate and even global, world-class security standards that we're able to meet, right? So, and that allows us to partner with companies like MasterCard, companies like with Alipay and WeChat Pay, and companies like Visa, that has very, very high requirements for security. Third is that we are also internally, we have a very specifically tasked group that makes sure that fraud and risks are managed, and we have relationships with our agents that allow them to have cameras in all of their shops. We operate them like their bank branches, right? So we train them to be more particular about potential risk of handling money. But as I said, there will always be new tactics. There's going to be always new strategies by which to breach this type of security. Anyway, Visa, MasterCard, they all also are affected by these types of. But again, we are always cognizant. We are always we always are aware of this possible modus operandi, and we take extra steps to make sure that our systems are secure.
If your agent can give you advice to a client, say if clients want to send money to someone just hitting them, say, okay, send money from Cambodia to Prague here, over the cheating, something like that. Is there any advice from agents, say, look, ask them any question them why you send this money, or they are kind of like don't know where money sent to who, which number, something like that, right? It's kind of like the advisory to your client to make sure they are not being cheated.
We regularly come up with SMS blasts on a regular basis, saying that okay, don't share your PIN. Okay, every time you send money, make sure that you alone will loan a PIN. Don't come up with a password that's easily copied. Don't come up with a PIN that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or double, or your date of birth and all that. And then if you still come up with that, we tell you. Our agents basically will tell you that, okay, you need to change your PIN, that's not accepted. And then we also put that in our system. Where if you put a PIN or a password that's easy to copy, it will not be accepted. So all of those things we put in place. But as I said, we will try to do as much as we can. But there's human behavior wherein sometimes you ask your daughter, can you go to the agent and cash this out and give out this? So those things, if that happens, we basically say, okay, is this your phone number? This is not your phone number. You ask your mother to come here and be the one to do that. So there's always that type, and knock on wood. So far, we haven't really experienced, really big type of frauds.
And how do you think that this kind of service help the poverty reduction in Cambodia, or could help tackle of kind of corruption? Is it contribute to that kind of thing?
Well, effectively, globally, it should, but we are also governed by laws on data privacy. right? Obviously, we have information. We have information about the phone number. We have information about the number of the amount of money that you're sending. In case there's a fraud, in case there's an AML or anti-money laundering type of activity, we are also governed by the National Bank of Cambodia in basically reporting that. If we don't report that, we are flagged. Oh, this guy's been sending $10,000 already every 10 minutes, right? So, we normally find that out. First, in the first place, you cannot send $10,000, right? So, there's the maximum is $2,000 to $3,000, and then you're flagged immediately.
Right.
So we have that. We are, as I said, that's part of how we're being governed by the.
So regulation like a bank like that, right?
Yeah, because we're a specialized bank.
Right, exactly.
And that's also one of the things that we made sure we registered ourselves as a specialized bank.
Right.
So that there's a higher level of supervision.
Right.
But more importantly, there's going to be higher level of confidence on Wing by its customers. Right?
Okay. And now go to the number question. I mean, curious to know the number of employees that you have been employed, the number of branches, number of agency, or the account that you also mentioned.
Yeah. So, we're run by a mean 350 people across Cambodia.
Across Cambodia, nationwide.
And we operate like we're a bank. We have a finance, we have a fraud, we have an HR, we have a marketing team, we have sales and distribution. We have about 5,300 agents. When I say agents, it's like if you look at a commercial bank, it's like a bank branch, right? But we give but we give the opportunity to non-bank personnel to be able to run it. These are micro entrepreneurs. There's entrepreneurs that we train on how to handle money, how to handle liquidity. We have 5,300 of those. We have roughly around 3,000 what we're calling wing minis, which are like agents, but they cannot transfer money. They can only process bills payment. They can only process buying of airtime and other services that will not require too much money to handle, right? So, as I said, we have approximately about 3 million regular customers going through all of these 5,300 agents on a regular basis. Right. And then we're connected to about 23,000 merchants who are using our QR codes for payment. We have about 25,000 SMEs who are on our payroll and also on our B2B and B2C businesses, which allows them to settle and pay their suppliers via Wing. And we have partnered with most of the microfinance institutions wherein they also use Wing to basically have their borrowers repay their loans and also wallets by which they disburse some of the loans. So we have a very extensive footprint in Cambodia. I would say that we're not one of the biggest, but we are the biggest. We are the leading mobile financial services and a fintech organization at that. Right. So
would you also think about the convert it into the commercial banks in the future, something like that? Any thought?
For any bank like Wing, that is a dream at some point in time. But currently, we're very, very comfortable with our ability to penetrate remote economies faster. And then maybe when we're happy with achieving our objective of at least giving Cambodians better lives through financial services, then maybe we can take a look at the commercial bank option at some point.
Okay, that's good. I think there is a signal saying that we have a 5-minute break. So now we break first, and then we can continue.
Okay, so it's a break. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
កម្មវិធីជ្រុំមួយនៃសេដ្ឋកិច្ច ឬហៅថា Business Insight គឺជាកម្មវិធីថ្មីមួយទៀតរបស់ទូរទស្សន៍អនឡាញខ្មែរថាមដែលផ្ដោតសំខាន់លើកិច្ចពិភាក្សាស៊ីជម្រៅចំពោះនានាការនិងការវិវត្តទៅនៃសេដ្ឋកិច្ចជំនួញនិងការវិនិយោគជាតិក្នុងតំបន់និងពិភពលោកកម្មវិធីនេះនឹងផ្ដល់ជាព័ត៌មានក៏ដូចជាពិធីបន្ថែមដល់ទស្សនិកជនធុរជននិងវិនិយោគិនជាតិនិងអន្តរជាតិដើម្បីងាយស្រួលក្នុងការសម្រេចចិត្តពង្រីកអាជីវកម្មនិងវិនិយោគបន្ថែមក្នុងព្រះរាជាណាចក្រកម្ពុជាកម្មវិធីជ្រុងមួយនៃសេដ្ឋកិច្ចមានផ្សាយជូនទេសនារៀងរាល់ថ្ងៃសុក្រវេលាម៉ោង 8 ព្រឹកជ្រុងមួយនៃសេដ្ឋកិច្ចឬហៅថា Business Insight គឺជាកម្មវិធីថ្មីមួយទៀតរបស់ទូរទស្សន៍អនឡាញខ្មែរថាមដែលផ្ដោតសំខាន់លើកិច្ចពិភាក្សាស៊ីជម្រៅចំពោះនានាការនិងការវិវត្តទៅនៃសេដ្ឋកិច្ចជំនួញនិងការវិនិយោគជាតិក្នុងតំបន់និងពិភពលោកកម្មវិធីនេះនឹងផ្ដល់ជាព័ត៌មានក៏ដូចជាពិធីបន្ថែមដល់ទស្សនិកជនធុរជននិងវិនិយោគិនជាតិនិងអន្តរជាតិដើម្បីងាយស្រួលក្នុងការសម្រេចចិត្តពង្រីកអាជីវកម្មនិងវិនិយោគបន្ថែមក្នុងព្រះរាជាណាចក្រកម្ពុជាកម្មវិធីជ្រុងមួយនៃសេដ្ឋកិច្ចមានផ្សាយជូនទេសនារៀងរាល់ថ្ងៃសុក្រវេលាម៉ោង 8 ព្រឹកជ្រុងមួយនៃសេដ្ឋកិច្ចឬហៅថា Business Insight គឺជាកម្មវិធីថ្មីមួយទៀតរបស់ទូរទស្សន៍អនឡាញខ្មែរថាមដែលផ្ដោតសំខាន់លើកិច្ចពិភាក្សាស៊ីជម្រៅចំពោះនានាការនិងការវិវត្តទៅនៃសេដ្ឋកិច្ចជំនួញនិងការវិនិយោគជាតិក្នុងតំបន់និងពិភពលោកកម្មវិធីនេះនឹងផ្ដល់ជាព័ត៌មានក៏ដូចជាពិធីបន្ថែមដល់ទស្សនិកជនធុរជននិងវិនិយោគិនជាតិនិងអន្តរជាតិដើម្បីងាយស្រួលក្នុងការសម្រេចចិត្តពង្រីកអាជីវកម្មនិងវិនិយោគបន្ថែមក្នុងព្រះរាជាណាចក្រកម្ពុជាកម្មវិធីជ្រុងមួយនៃសេដ្ឋកិច្ចមានផ្សាយជូនទេសនារៀងរាល់ថ្ងៃសុក្រវេលាម៉ោង 8 ព្រឹក
Welcome back to the KT Cross Talk. So now we can
Thank
continue our discussion. Let's talk about the market share a little bit. How's big the market share of the Wing compared to other like e-money, True Money, and the other?
Well, I don't have the numbers, but I would say that we are leading the industry by a good distance
Right.
because I'm not sure about the numbers. I'm
Right.
very sorry, but again, when you talk about these numbers, when you talk about 3 million customers, when you talk about being able to facilitate 60 to 70 million transactions a year,
Right.
if you have that much money going through 300,000 wallets out of 1 million wallets,
Right.
I think that's a sizable market share. The other reason why I cannot probably share that number is because each of this competition coming in also play in other areas, in other spaces that probably we're not playing, or we are playing in other areas that they're not there. So maybe we're 100% in this particular area
Right.
because there are no other people doing that. or in this part in the merchant payment space, for example, there's a lot of new players now, right? So we probably are on the 60-70%, but we don't know. We don't have the figures that will suggest we are doing this. But because of what we've been doing, I think we have a very, very good market share. And considering that there are new players coming in, and they came in at a much later time, I would say that they've probably taken a bit of market share. But that's what it's all about. It's okay.
It's a small piece of cake.
They probably have a small piece of cake, but sometimes even with a small piece of cake, if you have the best part of the cake, it's also okay, right? So when you say that I have a small part of the market share, but this is my niche, it's also good, right? So, but as I said, market share is nothing. If everybody else is able to provide the different sets of value to the market.
What about market demand? You still have big.
It's still growing.
Right?
Yeah, I think Cambodia is 3 million out of a sizable customer base of about 10 million who has the potential of sending money for their businesses, for their day-to-day needs. It's still small, so the market continues to grow. The market continues to grow. Wallets, they continue to grow as people start to appreciate and understand. But it's the business now is you create market share. Like for example, I don't know if you noticed, 3 months ago we launched this partnership with the City Bus. We're in 160 buses going around.
City Bus,
right? Are actually using a Wing account. But instead of using the phone, they use our card, our NFC. It's a tap and pay. So 160 buses going around Phnom Penh. You can just go there and then tap it, and 1,500 reals will be deducted from your account. But you have to open an account to do that. And what is the value of that? The value of that is that you don't pay in cash, because sometimes you don't have 1,500. You have 2,000. You don't get the change. If you have $1, you're unlucky, because your $1 will be your fare for the day, right? For that bus. So we introduced the use of a Wing so that you have an account, so you just tap it, and it's just 1,500 that will be deducted from you. So maybe in that particular space, we are the only one. So
unique.
Yeah, unique. So probably that's our 100% market share. But there's a lot of other companies now trying to start with that, because this is only Phnom Penh. Maybe in some other areas it's going to be the same.
Siem Reap, Battambang, Kampong Jam is big.
But that's a perfect example that the lives of the elderly Cambodians or people who really value even 500 real, you save it for them, right? Without unnecessarily putting 2,000 and you don't get your 500. So sometimes people are reluctant to ride. I won't ride because I don't have 1,500. But now that if you have your 1,500 or 3,000 or money in your wallet, you can just tap it and you'll be able to use it. And we've seen very, very good progress. It was slow at the start, but now it's going up quite
Any
well.
new product that the Wings are planning to introduce to the market? For example, like giving loan or something like that? Or you have no right to giving loan, right? Because the commercial
we don't have the right to do. We don't have the authority. We're not authorized to issue loans. But we are a payment channel, and therefore we can use our payment channels by which to make lending easier. That's why our partnership with different microfinance companies can open up opportunities for us to bring them to areas where they haven't been to through Wing. So
Wing become like agency of any banks that you cooperate with.
So we can share data with them. We can you give them information about some of the people who probably needs loan. And then we connect them. But that's part of the collaboration we normally will have with.
But not actually loan from Wing. Say send through by mobile phone to these people who want to borrow some money or something like that.
We can't, because we only have enough money to manage liquidity. And maybe at some point that can be part of the the middle of the road strategy before becoming a commercial bank at some point.
How to calculate everyday basic that people transferring money from Phnom Penh to countryside or from Korea, from Thailand to Phnom Penh. How much money been transferred around through use Wing system?
As I said earlier, for the money transfer, payment of bills, buying of airtime, all of these that are happening through our agents,
Right.
we processed more than about $10 billion.
10
Billion. Right?
billion.
Billion.
Million?
Billion.
Billion,
B,
okay.
B,
B,
B.
okay.
Dollars, not
Billion.
real. $10
Okay.
billion. So that's huge, right? For
Every day?
No, not every year.
Every year, okay, sorry. Okay.
So you divide that by 360, that's every day, right? So we process about maybe $1 billion a month,
Right.
right? So that's safe to say, well, $1 billion a month, and that's basically what goes to our system.
Right.
Remember, we are not a huge commercial bank, so this money is going through our agents on a
Right.
regular basis. And that's something, I was just in a forum of financial inclusion last week with the National Bank of Cambodia.
Valeria.
We did it. We had it in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur,
Okay.
and we showcased how Cambodia has really been able to bring this to the base of the pyramid, right? So I mean, it's huge not because of the people who have plenty of money.
Right.
It's huge because we are able to reach more people who have little money, right? So a big portion of the money transfer that we have are people sending between $0 to $100, right? So we process that every day.
Right.
So we process that every day, and we move money because it improves the lives of people.
Right.
It saves them time, In emergencies, they get it right away. Like you mentioned, if you want to pay your insurance premium before due date, you're able to pay it before due date because when you go out of your home, there's a Wing outlet
Right.
anywhere, right? Or if you have a Wing account, you can just do it in your Wing account. So, yeah, we do a lot, and it's phenomenal. It's very recognized globally that Wing is able to process all of these transactions very, very fast and huge volumes compared to other countries.
Direct to countryside. People
Yes.
have no opportunity
you know.
to traveling. They just connect Wing.
Yeah.
Wing can be help the parent and son and
Yeah.
daughter getting closer because of.
We have partnership with schools.
partnership
You
with
can
school,
give the
right.
allowance. You can, if you forget to pay the tuition fee,
Right.
you can pay
If
it.
I
and-
run a commercial bank, I very, very, very jealous with Wing because Wing provide very good service, and probably any bank that will take part of bank's commercial bank market, right? Who providing service, sending money in and something out, right?
Yes, yeah, maybe. But we have different sets of customers. Remember, now you will be jealous. Maybe a commercial bank will be jealous when they also target the unbanked, right?
Right.
Remember, the unbanked have been here for so long.
Right.
But the phenomenon of mobile financial services is that the reason why mobile financial services
Right.
for the unbanked is succeeding is because now you have companies like Wing who's able to service them.
Right.
Now, because if commercial banks can really be able to service them, because it's expensive to put up branches in different places, right?
Right.
And therefore, they will be jealous if that is also the target market.
Right.
And maybe, I think some of the banks are starting to put up their own, Wing type of
Right. Wing.
Wing, a company similar to Wing, so that they can also go to the base of the pyramid. That's okay. But as I said, we have the different sets of customers, and it's always we always differentiate ourselves. But we're not playing in your turf. In fact, there's going to be more collaborations.
Right.
A few banks have already partnered with us. They also use our agents to basically, for example, Satapana Bank basically uses us to facilitate loan payments to our agents because they have the second largest number of branches in Cambodia, but they're still small compared to the 5,000 that we have.
Right.
So that's the type of cooperation that we're now starting to open up to some of the banks.
Like you say, what happens if some commercial bank or the micro institution see Wing so successful, and then they look at them, oh wow, we should start something similar to Wing and compete with Wing. This kind of thing is you think that National Bank Cambodia would be allowed? They have right to do so, or Wing have the exclusive?
No. Wing does not have exclusive. Again, it's open.
Right.
I think there's 2 or 3 banks who are already trying to do that.
Right.
trying to do what we're doing. And again, it's open because again, as I said earlier, there's a lot of spaces in the market which cannot be covered by Wing, right? But the important thing there is that, you know, how do you get to that market with a differentiated service?
Right.
That will allow really people that will allow that will really reach people in that particular space.
Right. How do you think that Wing have been contribute to Cambodian GDP?
Well,
service like this.
Yeah, that's the objective. I want to measure Wing success on the basis of how it impacts the GDP.
Right.
I think in a way we already have an impact in the GDP, although small, and then it can be from several areas. The biggest one is through international remittances.
Right.
Recently, we've launched, for this year, we just launched our international money transfer business.
Right.
And then we were able to, get really the Cambodian migrant workers to start sending, and it's starting to be big. The volume is starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and we think that when we're able to efficiently bring in money here, money back through the formal channels through Wing, that will have an impact on GDP. In the Philippines, for example, I think the remittances, which is about 200 billion, I don't know if the number is correct, $250 billion a year, is having an impact to about 1.5 to 2% of the GDP, right? So maybe people sending here will have an opportunity to have an impact GDP. But the bigger part is that the ability of Wing to harness the key industries of growth in Cambodia.
Right.
Agriculture, for example. If we're able to help make that more efficient, wherein you open up businesses for farmers to improve productivity, you create opportunities for lenders to expand their lending base to areas where you can further develop the agricultural lands and crops in Cambodia, that will have an impact. Meaning, how will Wing help? We create opportunities for lenders to find maybe worthy individuals who will be able to pay their loans, or create opportunities for families who own lands to basically give them connections to SMEs. Right. Again, the farmers, we're connecting thousands of farmers to hundreds of SMEs which are selling feeds, which are selling fertilizers. If we're able to, make that connection faster, wherein the payment will be a lot easier, you don't need to carry, bags of real and then transfer money right away, then that will have an impact. It will have an impact also on education, right? So as we help try to make education not cheaper, but payment is more efficient, and you make it available to a lot of people in the countryside, wherein you bring multinational companies to deliver services to them, then maybe it's also going to be helpful. We partner with almost all of the insurance companies here in terms of paying their premium.
Prudential.
Prudential, Manulife, AA. But the more important thing there is that we open up opportunities for them to go to Kep, to go to Cartier, to go to Takao, and basically say that, some fishermen also deserve insurance, and maybe they can give insurance to the fishermen. And when you have insurance to fishermen, they're more confident, their lives are more secure. Then evidently that will have an impact on the GDP.
What about new is we can bring new to your client, your customer, or your agency. New, for example, cooperate with the Khmer Times, and the Khmer Times can produce new and.
Definitely. Well, we have explored a lot of opportunities for the print media and also, for example, your brand, your advertising. The way you bring this to Facebook, the way you bring it to because of the phone. It's most.
We have apps.
Yeah. So maybe as a payments company, the payment facility can be a lot easier. when you don't need people to go to banks to pay their subscription or whatever. They can just automatically put it in, pay for pay for your services.
Maybe circulation.
Circulation can be
to collect money from cash to cash.
Exactly.
We can pay.
And then we can collaborate in terms of doing. Previously, we had some publication companies who are also paying their
I know that publication.
Subscription, and I long to see my times there also.
Right. Yeah. Some years ago, I see in the news that Wing having a corporate with a company is Thai's Indian company called D-Money. What is that about? How to operate it?
Well, D-Money is one of our partners in Thailand, right? So D-Money is a remittance, an e-money, electronic money transfer or e-commerce company in Thailand. And they have a very good presence around the areas where most of the Cambodian migrant workers live.
Oh.
So we are partnering with them to bring remittances to Cambodia.
Okay.
So they take care of the Thailand market. We also have partners in Malaysia and Singapore.
Right.
We have partners in South Korea. We have partners in the US, in Australia.
Right.
We are now linked to 5 countries through our partnerships with a lot of these new remittance partners. So D-Money is one of them in Thailand. We're also in partnership with some banks there.
Right.
In South Korea, we're in partnership with a lot of a good number of remittance partners, and it's very exciting to see that the number of people who trusts the Wing brand, the number of migrant workers are now starting to really send money through Wing.
Right.
Because when you send money to Wing, you have 5,000 agents where you can get the money. Right. And then when you send money to Wing, even if it's in Takao and Buntay Manchay or anywhere in the province, we have a Wing outlet where you can get your money right away. So I think that presents a very, very good footprint by which remittance will be a lot easier. And it's real time,
Right.
You receive the money and then you say, okay, you have just received $200 from your husband.
Right.
You just go around to an agent and get the money. Or if you have a wallet, it's immediately in your wallet. You can immediately pay your bill.
So convenient for someone who have the parent who are living far away from the city, but have the Wing stand somewhere down there.
Exactly.
So a son or daughter can send money from Korea directly to their home.
Yeah, right? we urbanize rural areas by way of payments, right? So so something like it's easy. You go there.
Right.
So it's a common activity. You go there, cash out your money, and it's up to you to spend wherever you want. But we also educate them to say you don't need to withdraw everything. You can already pay your bill through the wallet and your electricity.
So Wing's success also part of the economic growth, the regional economy and the global economy grow as well, right?
Yeah.
So within the two mandates, so when 1 decade, 10 years. Wing operate under secure political, right? Politics, right? So after election this year, you can see that one party government has established this time. Before have multi party join, right? So what did you feel? Anything that you may concern, or you feel that the after election economics and political situation may impact, or anything that you may want to raise?
Well, the good thing about mobile financial services, because it caters to everybody, it's agnostic of any political affiliation, right? So, for so long as any political party is basically, which I believe any party, or whether it's a combination of 2 or 3 political parties, everybody will be happy with a very growing economy, right? So, mobile financial services contributes to that, right? So, it's non-partisan. It like any other services should be, so we don't see any much of an impact on that one, and we continue to in fact even drive economy, help the government meet the revenue targets, and eventually it will have a direct impact at some point.
Right. So Cambodia now is a part of the ASEAN. ASEAN is the 620 million population. You think that Wings may somehow think about expanding to operate somewhere like, let's say, Indonesia or Malaysia or other places within the region?
Yes, we have on the table a lot of opportunities by
Right.
which to move the operations in other countries, and the main reason for that is that we're being invited by this government to say, our mobile financial services is still very young. Maybe you
Right.
can help. Maybe we can help accelerate the growth. And we saw what Wing is doing, and then maybe we need something like that. So that's part of that's one of our options. However, there's a lot to be done in Cambodia, right? So you
Still see the market have
there's-
opportunity growing.
yeah, there's a lot. When I say there's a lot can be done in Cambodia, I'm not only talking about the opportunity to expand the business,
Right.
but there's a lot that can be learned.
I see.
There's still a lot of new products that we can introduce. We've been introducing Wing has been introducing new products and services here that's never been seen in ASEAN. We've introduced a Wing Mastercard QR code that integrates with our QR code.
Right.
We're the first bank here that basically introduced that. A Mastercard. It's an EMV certified, because of the security nature of Mastercard. We are one of the few companies, if not the only company, that has both Alipay and WeChat Pay. We accept merchants. We bring this to the base of the pyramid. We bring this to the souvenir shops. We bring this to the tuk-tuks. We bring this to some other groups, so that the Chinese, we take advantage of the Chinese being able to pay with their Alipay and WeChat Pay. So we've done a lot in terms of introducing B2B products and services.
Right.
We've done a lot in terms of introducing an app that basically can be understood by even
Right.
the poorest of the poor when they have it, even if it's a feature phone. So there's a lot that can still be developed.
Right.
The onset of fintech is also creating
Right.
a lot of other opportunities. So we are still focusing on that. However, as I said, if that persistent nature by which opportunities in other countries come back, we are always ready to look at it.
Okay. Technology trend is very fast and moving every day,
Yeah.
and been follow up almost every day. You think that anything that coming up news, the trend, or anything that a new product that Wing can introduce to this market? I mean, somewhere that never done it before, and somewhere, but you can bring it to show into Cambodian market.
Yeah, I think Cambodia should be proud that they have innovations that have never been even thought about or implemented in other countries.
Right.
The pass-up innovation here.
Yes, correct.
It's not Grab, it's not Uber, it's pass-up. It's proudly Cambodian made, right? So you go to the Philippines, we have millions of what we're calling tricycles. Never in their imagination will they see
Right.
that you can actually hail a ride of a tricycle like here. So that creates opportunities for payment facilities. How do you make this type of service easier in terms of payment? So you have very, very good agricultural products
Right.
here that are now starting to be supported by a lot of funding agencies.
Right.
There's a lot. In fact, sometimes Cambodia has advances. High. This appliances, high definition. Yesterday I was at the LG launch, and you can see all of these new televisions and that are already available here. So technology, or even the relationship with these high tech companies,
Right.
It's starting to bear fruit. So. We support that. In fact, as I said, this year we launched a lot.
Right.
Maybe Wing is only one of a few companies that puts an online MasterCard for every account that's been formed.
Right.
So we launched it February of 2018.
Right.
Now we have thousands of customers regularly using it. Micro entrepreneurs,
Right.
Micro entrepreneurs are using these to buy their products from AliExpress, to pay via PayPal, to boost their Facebook,
Right.
to buy songs, to buy games, and all that stuff. And there are plenty. Why? Because we made for you, if you have a Wing account, automatically you
Right.
have a debit account, a MasterCard debit account, prepaid, that you can use to buy anything online or offshore, right? So,
Right.
or cross-border. And anybody, it's not selected, you know. So these are people who will never be able to have a MasterCard because they cannot open a bank account, right?
Right.
But now it's available to them. It's available to a garment worker, it's available to a fisherman, it's available to a farmer. So those are new technologies that we would like to bring in.
Right.
But we would like to bring in technology that can be used,
Right.
right? So I cannot come up with, hey, let's do this and introduce it. It's never used, right? So
Right. You mentioned a little bit about the people can send money from Thailand, from Korea, from whatever. Are you worried about security again? When asked, if somebody send a lot of money from Thailand through Wing, is any way to assure that it's not money laundering?
yeah, well, as I said, you know, we are governed by the National Bank of Cambodia. We are implementing certain guidelines by which you can
Right.
only send this much,
Right.
you can only cash out this much, you can only receive this much, right?
Okay.
Or you should be receiving this in the wallet
Right.
or etc. So, and it's bilateral agreement, right? So from the Thailand where it's being sent, they have their own regulations that make
Right.
sure that you don't send more than what's necessary.
Right.
So as soon as that's sent, it's received here. Once it's received here, it's just like any other Wing process. We're in.
Right.
If you receive it in your phone, you go and cash it out. It's the same process. Right?
Is it
So-
automatically aware or known, or maybe person have to be report to the National Bank Cambodia, something like that?
Well, as I said, because of the data that we have,
Right.
for example, if you're going to send more than what's required in Thailand, you'll be notified by our partner there.
Right.
You cannot send. Even if you insist you cannot send.
Right.
The system will not accept sending. Okay. If at some point in time, which I don't think happens, they're able to get multiple accounts and send money, and it's received here. At say you receive $10,000 here, which is more than what it used to be. Then you cannot cash out everything. It
Right.
stays in your wallet, but it cannot cash. You cannot cash out. You can only cash it out
Right.
$2,000, $3,000 a day, or something like that, right? So you still have to follow that. So that mechanism is in place. Our data is, we report to the National Bank of Cambodia on a regular basis.
Let's talk about fintech a little bit. I'm not really familiar with that, so maybe the audience want to hear something about that too. The fintech.
Well, fintech is a financial technology, right?
Right.
So anything that you introduce technology in the management of funds or the management of money,
Right.
they call fintech, right? Financial technology. So what we have been doing in Wing is fintech. Why? Because we use in our agents, we use the POS. We use the POS to effect a transfer of cash to
Right.
electronic money. We have a wallet
Right.
that basically keeps or stores the electronic value of your
Right.
money, the cash of which is represented somewhere in any bank, right? Imagine if you have, if you know in your phone you have, I have $200.
Right.
That $200 is an electronic representation of your physical cash.
Right.
Your physical cash is there. Whatever you do with that money, whether you buy something from AliExpress or something from Amazon,
Right.
is called fintech, right? Because you're given the opportunity to connect to, say, MasterCard,
Right.
you connect to Alipay, that's financial technology. Or you create a facility by which you're able to credit score, right? Because of the data that you have on a regular basis, I'm able to give you a credit score, and therefore you can borrow this much. That's financial technology.
Okay.
There's a lot of companies that are now getting into fintech.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of different areas where they can come in. Some can
Right.
come in credit and savings, some can come in merchant payments, some can come in money management,
Right.
some can come in core banking solutions or systems, and everywhere else,
Okay.
right? Or you can be a commercial bank that basically does everything and be a fintech yourself using blockchain technology, using cryptocurrency or whatever. But we're evolving that
Right.
as we speak.
Can you elaborate about the turnover of the company, company profit making per year? Any number that you can share?
Yeah, the number that I can share, right? So, I always say that the biggest challenge to any company operating this type of business is how to be profitable, right? So, at the onset, Wing went to a major process of really, losing money, and because
And now still losing money?
we're making money.
Making money.
Yeah, we are a positive EBITDA company, and we're proud that we generate we've been generating positive income for the past several years. Since we started we renewed our business model in 2011. The next year we started to generate income. We're a positive EBITDA company. We're earning, and then that's a very major advantage that we have in the market. All of our competitors are still in that mode of having to spend, having to buy market share, having to spend this much on market share, and we're taking advantage of that by also using our own money to put up our own investments.
Right. You can say the number. Say Wing can make $5 or $10 million a year, something like that.
We're generating over a good number. You will see in our it's available. We make over $20 million worth of revenues on a yearly basis.
That's great. Now it's time to finish our conversation. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom on this technology. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me, having me here. Thank you.